should fall on the doorstep of Stephen Harper. No, even if the PM comes out and he claims to distance himself, oh, I'm going to distance myself from that guy, Rob Anders. I'm plugging my nose. Oh, I don't like Rob Anders. He smells funny. Rob Anders smells funny. It's like, do something more if you don't like the way Rob Anders. You can't go around and allow this guy to be your irresponsible stooge for these ridiculous stunts and statements. If Stephen Harper really disagrees with Rob Anders, he would cut him out of the Conservative caucus in a heartbeat.
Right. Good point. That's a very good point. Here's the thing. It's one thing to distance yourself from the comments, but if that's not followed by some disciplinary action, then you've accepted the comments.
And this guy does this kind of shit every week.
Yeah. Yeah. I watched some stuff on YouTube, Mike, where Rob Anders was on American TV shows, right? Where it's kind of a town hall kind of talk show, kind of local TV kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And he stands up to ask questions, and it was attacking a Democratic politician, and put a long nose on himself. He put a prosthetic long nose on himself to ask the question.
Are you serious? I have to do this too. I have to ask the same questions that we just heard asked in this other context. Are you serious?
Yeah.
He put on a rubber nose.
There's a thing on YouTube about Rob Anders used to be a professional heckler before he became. He's an MP from Calgary.
Well, he has a job, and that's obviously his job in Harper's.
That's what I'm getting at. The buffoonery. Yeah. The ugliness that this guy trots out is a technique that is, in all likelihood, and in what I consider to be appearance,
he's a jester.
It's his role that he plays.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? And again, this is such a crazy statement, but it did tie up the media for a day. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? The Conservatives advance their agenda every single day, and every single day that they do something like this ties the media up and keeps people talking about. Well, we're talking about it right now.
Right,
exactly. We could be talking about the free trade deal that he's negotiating with Europe or China or you know what I mean. And these are important issues because in both of these free trade agreements that he's negotiating secretly, there's sovereignty issues. He's passing over elements of our sovereignty to foreign powers.
So Rob Anders has a role, and you just pointed out the role. The role is to deflect attention away from anything of substance that's a negative to the average Canadian.
Yeah.
People keep missing, Steve, this is something that people always have to consider, is that the Conservatives run a well-oiled machine, and everything they do is thought out, planned, organized, strategized, well-funded. These guys don't do something and then wonder what's going to happen when they do it. No. This kind of stuff it's methodical. They're stunts. I mean, there's another example of a stunt would be the recent private members bill from what is it, Stephen Woodworth?
Yeah, Woodworth. Yeah.
I mean, here's another issue where it was sad to see people yell and cheer like they had just won something because that bill was struck down. Yeah, the most important aspect of that bill too was to realize here's Stephen Harper allowing another, in this case a backbencher, to bring forward an issue that he can then use to look like he's a moderate and vote against. And but
the fact that a Conservative is doing this keeps their church-going base active.
Exactly. It's so brilliant politically. It serves his base. His base goes, yeah, there's a Conservative out there that's going to bring up, abortion and
it
gays
ties up
and
the
stuff
media.
like that.
It ties up the media. This is like, we shouldn't be talking about this.
Ties up the media
unless it's to describe how these veils are cast over the real issue and beguile the media into talking about things that don't really matter. Like, I mean, come on now. Unless you're going to amend the Constitution, you can't turn over. You cannot turn over women's rights to choose.
Right. So it was a stunt.
Yeah.
It was a complete political stunt on his part.
Exactly.
There was no victory for opposition parties in the fact that bill was defeated. It was going to be the only reason why Stephen Harper allowed his backbencher to bring up the motion in the first place was because he knew it would be defeated, and it gave him a chance to go out, and pretend to be a moderate.
Right. And in every right-wing church where all this Harper support is organized, in every right-wing Christian church in this country, the minister gets to say the HarperCons are fighting for our cause.
They do the opposite tone. They turn the tone.
The country is not ready for it yet, but you can see Stephen Woodworth has taken the lead in this fight.
Today, 1/4 of the Conservative caucus voted in support of this motion. Tomorrow, it'll be the whole caucus.
Yeah, keep
Like
on
that
giving,
kind of stuff.
keep on giving money to the Conservative Party. Keep on going to. Yeah, anyway, I don't know. Well, just,
Oh,
but
sorry.
yeah, I'm just saying. I have no words to.
Well, you know what? I've got one more issue where I want to point out that the Conservatives are playing games. Because, I mean, I think this is important to point out their methods, how they work, and why they do them. And another one was, and this backfired on them. This was one that I think they realized didn't work. A number of lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgendered people.
I'm so glad you're bringing this up. Go for it.
Yeah, they made a complaint in the past to the Harper government about, or looked for support for lesbian, gay, transgendered, and basically complained and said like they don't think the Conservatives are going to do enough or are concerned about their rights and issues that relate to them. And now, in the media, the way this is being played out, the only question that the media is asking is, were privacy rights violated? And yeah, I'm not saying that that's not an issue, but I'm saying they're missing the main story here. The main story is that Stephen Harper's Conservatives willingly pitched the idea of supporting Conservatives to the lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender community by insinuating their support for Iranian homosexuals.
Right.
I mean, this in context to a time when they've removed their diplomatic mission from Iran.
So and then the LGBT community stood up and said, "What, do you have a list of us or something? You just sent a batch email to just the LGBT or BT community.
Yeah.
Do you keep a database of who's gay in this country?" Right?
Mm-hmm.
And well, I mean, are you implying that the Conservative backed down from this, or that this was not a successful technique? Because here's how I see it. I want to just say how I see what happened here. The Conservatives sent a message to every single Canadian and activist in this country and say, when you petition us, we database you.
Well, that's without a doubt. I mean, we now know that if you respond to the government, that they are organizing your information into different categories.
Yeah.
I mean, I shouldn't have made as light of it being a privacy issue. I do agree it's a privacy issue. I just think it's also important to point out that this was a concerted effort and strategy on the Conservatives' part to try to use another issue, the Iranian issue, to convince.
And I don't think that was the message at all. The message was, and this is in my opinion, okay, the message was that when you petition us, we database you. Yes, we did put you on a list of gay people. Yep, we keep a list of that. We keep a list of everything. And just so you know,
they are organized and they do plan these things out.
Right.
And
it was an intimidation tactic. This batch email just sent out to gay people was an intimidation tactic. We database you. Period. And I think that was premeditated. I think it was successful. I was watching on Facebook a couple days ago, after the Minister for Women's Affairs or Women's Issues, Ronna Ambrose, voted for Stephen Woodward's.
Right, I was going to say who voted for Stephen Woodward's.
So of course, an online campaign, an online petition was started. Okay, and guess what? Not many people start an online petition for her to step down as the Minister of Women's Affairs. Okay, was started up, and I saw people on Facebook going, "Come on, people, sign this petition. There's only 10,000 names on this. Where is everybody? Where's your support?" You know what I mean? And I was going, well, this is the week after the gay community realized the Conservatives databased them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
And now these people don't want to sign a petition. I'm not saying that the two things are
I hear
linked,
you. I can see
but,
where, and
but
that was something I thought right away too. Was now people can't get scared of signing petitions against the government because they're worried about being databased, and that could be a negative effect.
it's a chill factor.
Of
And it
a chill factor.
I believe, just like you say that, or we both speculated that Rob Anders' comment is part of a bigger scheme and it was deliberate, and Stephen Woodward's private members bill was, part of an orchestrated effort to feed into a larger scheme of energizing their base, right? That there is no independent operators in the Conservative Party, and I think Jason Kenney's batch email to the gay community was meant to let Canadians know that we do take your name, we do take your info, we do plug you into the database according to where you fit, and we keep a list of who you are, what you think, and yeah, so it's intimidating. It creates a chill factor. You want to put your name on something against this government, they take that information, and then they put you on their enemy list. You know what I mean? That's intimidating.
Yeah, I
so when data
mining,
I'm
actually glad that you're illuminating that point, because that makes three different instances where this week where we can point out the Conservative strategy and notice, a common element in these three different things. So
absolutely,
yeah, they don't stop, Tony. That's kind of half the problem, right?
Totally relentless, man. It's unbelievable. And again, because we can create this picture of such a well orchestrated and relentless machine that is the Conservative Party, right? And the evils of their right wing agenda, serving corporate power and destroying Canadian values in its wake. Okay, it just reinforces the need for cooperation amongst decent people.
Exactly.
I mean, we don't even have to call ourselves progressive. Let's just call ourselves decent people.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's I don't know.
I tried to make a plea to my Conservative friends today, and basically pointed out to them that the original ideology called conservatism wasn't the same as what Stephen Harper has. This is neoconservative, or even worse, or maybe the same, neoliberalism. And it makes me think it's like all of the names of their parties are, Conservative, Reform, Alliance. It's like the reason why they chose those is because if they told the truth, it would be something like the neoliberal erosion of democracy, hostile takeover, shitty time, corporate interest party. I don't understand why people would actually not be able to see through what Stephen Harper is doing at this point, even as conservatives. It's like the time to take, even the conservatives, they really need to look at their party and realize that it's not best for Canada to completely divide Canadians between rich and poor and progressive and conservative, and to deny their own past, where conservatives used to have, even if it wasn't for the right motives, they knew enough to support social democratic principles because it was a solid foundation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and now they just give up on it, and they're willing to just, I don't understand, and it's shameful. It's when I start saying shameful, I start to think, oh no.
No.
It's like,
let me simplify that for you. They are the enemy. We are the decent people. You know what I mean? And the enemy sometimes is diluted into supporting the Conservative Party, but it still means they're the enemy.